Am I the a-hole for charging a bride more for makeup when the original price we agreed was lower? I am a makeup artist for the past 9 years. I charge $500 for bridal makeup, around $250 for bridesmaid etc. makeup, but for regular party makeup I charge around $150. So few weeks ago a lady had booked me for a party makeup on June 25th. She booked at 10 a.m. I went there thinking I'd do a regular party makeup. I had agreed $150 with her. As I was there were some people coming over. I assume relatives. At some point it slips from a woman about the wedding and I realize the woman I'm doing the makeup on is the bride. I'm doing a bridal makeup charging for simple party makeup. I was completely pissed how she lied about the occasion, but I kept doing my job. After we were finished, she gave me $150 and I notified her we are actually $350 short. She asked what I meant by that and I said that I did a bridal makeup. You're the bride. That's what I charge for brides. She said we had agreed on a simple party makeup and that I am basically ripping her off because I worked the same amount of time and used the same products as I'd use in a bridal makeup, so the title of the event shouldn't matter. I told her she doesn't get to dictate how I form my prices. She then refused to pay me at all and called me a scammer and told me to get out. Before I left, her mom threw $200 on my face and told me to get lost. I was telling what happened to my friends and they all sided with the bride and said that unless I used more expensive products and I did extra labor then I'm not justified in charging her more, and since she requested party makeup I should just charge her that. Am I the a-hole?
She did not ask for bridal treatment and didn't do a makeup test run.
You used the same products you would use on a simple party makeup and attempted to upcharge her $350 for what exactly? Just because she's the bride and you want to squeeze more money out of her? If you used different products or it took way longer then sure I could see the upcharge. But you didn't and it didn't, so yes, you are the a-hole. Edit. Lots of likes. To those saying original poster did nothing wrong, original poster stated the only difference in the makeup is setting spray. Unless that spray was made by the gods themselves it is not worth the $350 upcharge. Edit 2. If anyone can justify why you would charge her more for no extras, other than a setting spray, when all she asked for was simple party makeup and didn't demand or ask for more than that, just because she is bride, I'll eat my hat. Well, my husband's hat, 'cause I don't have any of my own. You are the a-hole. A wedding is a party. She didn't ask for extra work done, you didn't ask what kind of party it was before agreeing to the booking. She got around your sneaky price gouging practices and you're salty, get over it. It's reasonable to charge more for bridal makeup if you're doing something more elaborate than you normally would, not just because it's a wedding. You are the a-hole. There is such a markup on prices just because the word wedding is involved. It's completely fucked up. Like hell, I can either spend $1,000 to hire a big marquee tent, or I spend $200 to buy the same damn marquee tent. If I get a cake made for a family event it's a certain price. I mention wedding, same sized cake, zero differences. Prices at least double for no other reason than the word wedding being involved. Honestly, it's so fucked up people charge so much more because the word wedding is involved. Am I the a-hole for giving my nephew the key to my house and telling him to come there anytime he needs? I'm 40 male, a widower and father of 2 boys, 17 male and 14 male. My wife died 7 years ago. My sister is 39 female and has a 16 male gay son. She is a single mother, father was never involved. My 16 male nephew spends basically a few hours every day at my house and only goes home to sleep, because my sister is not the nicest person. CPS never did anything, there was no immediate threat. He's waiting to turn 18 to move out and I already told him a room in my house will be available for him. My sister and most of my family is now pissed because at his 16th birthday party, this happened. We were having cake at my sister's apartment and she said to her son, "Stop sitting like that, sit like a man." He had his legs crossed, lol. He uncrossed his legs and said nothing.
Later my sister made a toast with so many embarrassing stories it made my stomach turn. How he cried when his boyfriend at the time, got COVID and nearly died. How he is a bit on the faulty side, because he never had a father. How he threw a tantrum when she told him which girl he should date, a friend's daughter or something, etc.
At the end of the toast, the kid was downright swallowing tears. I had enough and told my sister she is being awful to him and should at least pretend to respect her own son. She told me to mind my own business and not tell her what kind of atrocities she needs to allow in her home. My nephew just started crying then. I took my spare key out of my wallet, the whole family was watching because sister was yelling, and gave it to my nephew. I told him I'll clean up the empty room and make it his bedroom and he can come there whenever he needs for however long he needs. Sister got furious and started yelling. I got up to leave with my kids and my nephew just followed us. As we were leaving, sister yelled that she'll come to get her son back. I told her I'll file a motion to grant me temporary custody due to child endangerment. My family is pissed off, as is my sister. Nephew the key to my house and telling him to come there anytime he needs? I'm 40 male, a widower and father of 2 boys 17 male and 14 male. My wife died 7 years ago. My sister is 39 female and has a 16 male gay son, she is a single mother, father was never involved.
My 16 male nephew spends basically a few hours every day at my house and only goes home to sleep, because my sister is not the nicest person.
CPS never did anything, there was no immediate threat. He's waiting to turn 18 to move out and I already told him a room in my house will be available for him. My sister and most of my family is now pissed because at his 16th birthday party, this happened. We were having cake at my sister's apartment and she said to her son, "Stop sitting like that, sit like a man." He had his legs crossed lol. He uncrossed his legs and said nothing. Later my sister made a toast with so many embarrassing stories it made my stomach turn. How he cried when his boyfriend at the time, got COVID and nearly died. How he is, a bit on the faulty side, because he never had a father. How he threw a tantrum when she told him which girl he should date, a friend's daughter or something, etc. At the end of the toast, the kid was downright swallowing tears. I had enough and told my sister she is being awful to him and should at least pretend to respect her own son. She told me to mind my own business and not tell her what kind of atrocities she needs to allow in her home. My nephew just started crying then. I took my spare key out of my wallet, the whole family was watching because sister was yelling, and gave it to my nephew. I told him I'll clean up the empty room and make it his bedroom and he can come there whenever he needs for however long he needs. Sister got furious and started yelling. I got up to leave with my kids and my nephew just followed us. As we were leaving, sister yelled that she'll come to get her son back. I told her I'll file a motion to grant me temporary custody due to child endangerment. My family is pissed off, as is my sister. Not the a-hole. I'm glad your nephew has you in his corner. If you can get him legally in your custody that would be even better. Indeed. I had a similar experience with my dad, and OT was my aunt who came to my defense. I haven't talked to him in years, he was also physically and emotionally abusive, while I visit my aunt as frequently as I could. Original poster has no idea how grateful his nephew is and how much of a positive impact he has made on his life by doing this. Original poster. As a queer woman who was put in a similar position as your nephew, thank you. Every queer kid deserves someone like you. Not the a-hole. You are probably saving the kid's life. I hope he can get emancipated and be free of his mom. I don't know what country you're in, but maybe also talk to the local police just to give them a heads up in case your sister decides to be petty about it. Your nephew could explain the situation to them with you there to back him and support him. Where I am, he would be legally allowed to live out of home in the police, if knowing the situation would back his right to stay somewhere safe.
Not the a-hole.
You're a good man. Original poster. The world needs more love. Clearly your sister doesn't care for her own kid. It's good he has somebody like you for support. Suicide rates in LGBTQA+ teens is no joke and you being there could have very well been a saving grace for him. Am I the a-hole for wanting my husband to cancel his trip he been planning for 4 years? My husband, 27, been planning a trip for about 4 years with some close friends. The trip kept being postponed due to some of his friends having family deaths, financial issues and unfortunate world events. My husband is finally gonna be able to leave within 2 months. The issue I, 21, have with that is I'm pregnant and he is leaving near my due date. This is my first child and I don't want to go through childbirth alone. I don't have family other than my husband. My dad's died and my mom is mentally ill. I just want his support throughout the process, but he's making me feel really bad for asking him to postpone just trips so he can be here for his daughter and I. He told me it's honestly not that big of a deal. He said when he was at the hospital for his son from a previous relationship that the birth only took an hour and that the nurse were very supportive. I also don't want to care for his son after I come home from the hospital alone. He plans on being away for a month and has sole custody. His son goes to his mom's every other weekend, but that's all. Sometime his mom won't even show up. He haven't made any plans on where his son gonna go after I come home from the hospital. His sister agreed to take him while I'm in the hospital, but she can't do any longer as she has a full-time job and doesn't want to take too much time off work. He told me I'll be able to handle everything by myself and begged to drop the issue because he'd been planning this for so long and he's really excited to go. He even offered to pay me for all the hardships and told me women take care of children after coming home from the hospital all the time. I do understand that this wasn't exactly planned and I feel awful about the whole situation. A huge part of me wants to just dorp the issue and find a way to deal with everything by myself. I mean, his friends are calling me a wet blanket. I don't want to be a wet blanket and spoil everyone's fun. Am I the a-hole here? Not the a-hole. You said, and I quote, he offered to pay me for all the hardships. He told me women take care of children after coming home from the hospital all the time. That's a red flag. Girl, I never overreact on these posts either, but holy hell. Due to extremely unfortunate work circumstances out of our control, my husband had to be in China for a month after my daughter was born. We live in the Bay Area. I had a 2-year-old at the time and I also had a C-section. It was beyond incredibly difficult. I couldn't lift my baby. I couldn't drive. I had no help, no family around. My 2-year-old was helping me clean up and do laundry and dishes because it's all I could do to survive. It was hell. Yes, women do it because women are effing amazing, but that doesn't mean it's easy or it should be done if it doesn't have to be. Wow. So his friends can cancel the trip due to their issues, but you having a baby and being upset about him going away for a month makes you a wet blanket. That's nice that his son came in 1 hour, but that's not typical of labor. Anything can happen. Sounds like he is super selfish and has his priorities mixed up. If he can't put his child first before it's even born, it doesn't speak well of how he will be after. It takes 2 to make a baby and shouldn't be all your responsibility to take care of it. Not the a-hole. He's going to be away for a month? When he has sole custody of his son, right near your due date. This guy is seriously messed up. Even if you have the easiest delivery ever, and I hope you do, you deserve to have your husband, the father of your child, supporting you. You will need someone at home to take care of things, as you adjust to taking care of your child. And I know no one likes to think about this, but if something goes wrong, he needs to be there. Good luck, up. I hope you find the support you deserve. Am I the a-hole for only buying ice cream for one of the kids I was babysitting? We went to a park with my extended family. My, femla 17, sister, female 4, asked me to take her to the playground, which was far away from where we were sitting.
I decided to take her, but as we wanted to leave, all my aunts and uncles started to ask me to take their kids as well, which would be about 7 kids in total, with youngest being my sister and oldest being 9 years old. I told them I don't want to look after that many kids, but they assured me that I have no responsibility other than taking them there and staying with them to make sure they don't get lost.
I took them and everything was fine until my sister asked me for an ice cream. I didn't have enough money to buy for everyone, so I bought 2 for me and her. The other kids asked me for an ice cream, but I told them I can't buy it and told them to just keep playing and their parents will buy for them when we get back. After we went back, they started complaining to their parents and they all berated me. I don't think I was obligated to buy them ice creams because I wasn't even getting paid. They said I'm an a-hole and I will never babysit again. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Your family was taking advantage of you and now they'll be hesitant to do that again. I think there's a fair point to not buying for one kid in front of others, but the issue wasn't you, it was that the parents weren't there and should have been. You told them no, and besides that they were playing on a hot day. Something could have happened and it sounds like you were watching too many kids to handle an emergency if you needed to. Not the asshole. They did not give you money or any compensation to watch their children, let alone buy them ice cream. What you do with your money is your choice. As for it not being fair for the other children, it's simply not fair to send a 17-year-old with 9 children on her own. While I definitely don't think you're an asshole and your aunts, uncles shouldn't have expected you to take care of their kids, I do think the ice cream thing was a bit shitty. You didn't punish the parents, you punished the kids. The oldest was 9, which is still quite young, and obviously they were going to want an ice cream. If you didn't want to take them to park, you should have said no and stuck to it. Instead you thought, sod those kids, me and my sister can have an ice cream. I didn't even want to bring you in the first place. You punished children for the parents asking and you not having the spine to say no and enforce it. It just seems a bit petty to me, and I agree that it's a bit mean to take your frustration out on children that didn't really know any better.